guys, the first thing that you want to do is take 2 strips of 8 inches and you want to line them up so that the bottom of one touches one line on your cutting board and the top of another touches the line 3 inches above, so that your height will be 3 inches. Your next step is to take 2 more strips of your outside color, the color you want on the outside of your wallet. Lay one down about 1/4 inch below the sticky part on the first sheet, and then one down on the flush with the top. So when you turn it over, you'll have 1/4 inch of sticky on one side. Fold that over and this becomes your brim. Next, you're going to make your card pockets. I take a piece that's 11 inches, I turn it over, and then I take clear tape, and I use the clear tape to back it so that the wallet stays thin. The next thing to do is cut your card pockets just a little bit over 3.5 inches. After that, you're going to take a piece of tape 4 inches long, 4 inches long, and this is going to be whatever color you want your brims to be. You'll cut that piece in half twice, long ways, leaving you with 4 strips. You're going to take each of these strips and use them to cover the tops of your card pockets for your brims. One of them is going to go on your ID plastic to make the brim for that. I put mine on the same side as I put the card pockets so that the ID will be inserted on the long side. You can do this on the short side if you prefer. And I make sure that I line my brims up very straight. You can use a ruler, you can use your cutting board, whatever you do. For this wallet, I'm making my brims 1/4 inch. Sometimes I make them thinner, sometimes I make them thinner, but that's what I standard make them, is 1/4 inch. Excuse me, I'm a little bit of a cough tonight. You trim off the excess on the sides because you don't want any sticking out. Your next step is to line up the card pockets. You want to make sure that the top one is low enough that when you put a card in, it doesn't hang over the top. And then you usually want to put the bottom one in and kind of line the middle one up to be between the two. The bottom one is going to be flush with the bottom of the wallet. Next step is to get some tape to use for sticking it on. You can use scrap tape, whatever kind of tape you want. It does not matter. I did it the way I did it because the next kind of piece you're going to need is 3.5 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. So I just kind of cut around it and used like the little scraps that would have been left over. I just do that to save tape. So I'm just sticking the card pockets on how I line them up. And I have this other little piece here that I'm going to use just to hold the top card in place. You don't tape it on anywhere, you just kind of put a piece of tape to hold it in place. The next part is to get a little piece of tape to hold the ID in place. And this is again just making for less fold over lines and allowing you to keep the wallet extra thin. This piece is 3.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide, and I just put that down It's a 1/4 inch over the ID and a 1/4 inch over the card pockets. And that's what holds them on in the center of the wallet. Fold the top down so that there's no sticky on the top of the wallet, and fold it down to match over the top of the brim. The next thing you're going to do is take and make the back side of your billfold. Again, you start with the inside color. You're going to take 2 strips that are 8 inches wide, and you're going to make them 3 inches tall when you put them together. I like to make them just a tad, tiny bit over 3 inches, and I really do mean a tiny bit. And I do that so that when I put the wallet together, the back rim just sticks out just a little bit. That's all personal preference. I do that because that way I make sure that the inside billfold is definitely not taller than the outside one. Because if you're going to have one be taller, you want it to be the outside one. What I just did there was I took a piece of green tape that was 10 inches long, and I stuck it down so that there was sticky on the bottom part of the billfold and on both sides. Now I'm taking another 10-inch strip and I'm placing it to where it just barely overlaps the first strip, so they're sticky on the bottom and on the sides. Now I'm going to turn it over and cut out the corners. After you cut out the corners, you're going to take the thinner side and fold up the thinner long side and fold it over like that, and that'll be your other brim. You're going to line up the inside of your wallet. First thing you're going to do is fold over the 2 sides. Make sure they're as even as you can get them and there's no wrinkles. Make sure your wallet is straight. If it's not straight, then it won't look right when it folds. Make sure it's evenly, make sure it's not sticking out on one side or anything like that. Then I take my ruler, sorry, I just nudged the camera. Then you take the ruler and you cut off the excess tape. This is how I make my sides straight. Because I've noticed that when you fold them over, if you plan for them to be straight, once you fold them, they aren't. The next thing I'm going to do is fold up the bottom. If the bottom is too wide, you can make it slimmer, which I do on this wallet. And I just do the same thing. I take the ruler and I just trim off the excess. And then I just peel it off. And that is basically it. Your wallet is finished. Then the last thing you need to do is cut your card pockets. I cut mine in a diagonal so that I can fold them over and tuck them behind, kind of like that. And that way there's no sticky on the top of the card pockets. It makes it easier when you're sliding your cards in and out. Thanks for watching this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful.